So China have created a drone. Well, actually, it's not a drone. It's a flying car. So it has a pilot in it, and they look very sexy, as we can see from this film. The question is, will these planes replace cars? And actually, will they replace planes?
Well, how much were they? Because I seem to remember there was a bit of debate about how much they thought these were going to cost.
Well, one film says $15,000. You have to go, well, that's a bit cheap, isn't it? Another one, which I think we should believe, is anywhere between 180 and 250, $100,000. That sounds more like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it caught my eye because, like you, we've been around a few years, but this idea of flying cars isn't new. This one is new because it's on sort of a rotary action rather than a wing action. And when they advertised it saying $15,000, you walk, £12,000. That only
I'll have two.
Yeah, I'll have a couple of them. What I think is fascinating, it's one thing what technology can do, it's quite another whether you actually want to use it. Because if you have people driving or flying these things around and they hit each other, it's not like bumping into each other, pulling at the side of the road and calling the AA, is it? You're going to fall out the sky and everybody's going to die. The way they're flying around, they're not flying high enough to have a parachute deployed, and if you did, it would be a lot heavier. So what are the regulations going to be around how you stop people being mischievous with these things?
Yeah.
And it feels like you needed some sort of pilot's license probably because you are flying. Okay, it's very low. What are going to be the regulations around doing that? Because I, like you, when I saw this video, I thought, it looks fantastic. I want one. But actually it worries me about how the safety, how the security is actually going to be managed around those.
Well, I bet there's some sort of avoidance software inside the device. Secondly, apparently you have to go on a 6-month course. Now, I can almost guarantee you that the first 3 hours is how to fly the thing. The rest of it is about all the stuff you've described, and including navigation and so on. And all the things you've described, if you have helicopter lessons, which I have, they major on all of those things, for the same reasons. Because you can easily, without realizing it, come across another device which comes from the side or something, you don't see it.
Because it's also about, I think, as soon as you go into the air domain, you will go out and drive your car in bad weather. You'll drive it in fog. You'll drive it at night. You'll drive it in heavy winds, and it'll just be a bit inconvenient. There are a whole different number of factors if you are in a car that's flying, particularly with those helicopter blades. How are they going to respond to hail? How are you going to be able to respond to high winds? Will you still be able to land it? I just think there are so many really interesting questions.
You know what, Sean? You're talking like an old man. because I guarantee you all of those problems will be solved through technology, clever software.
I'm sure you're right.
I mean, there will be accidents, but there'll be different sort of accidents.
No, I'm sure you're right. And the bottom line is both of us saw it and went, that looks very, very sexy. I'd like a little bit of that.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.